Tifu telling my parents about my inheritance, by user tifu. TLDR, sister died and left me her home, parents tried to sell it so I had to explain the will. Now they're gonna sue me. My 36F sister died 6 months ago from a heart condition. She practically raised me, so it's been pretty difficult to deal with. I'm in my final year of university and have failed every single class this semester. She'd be disappointed, but it is what it is. My sister never married, never had children. I lived with her near campus. She ran her successful side business, I got to help her occasionally as a paid intern. She worked a lot but not to support us, she wanted to retire by the time she was 40. She would have been done in 4 years and her heart had to fail her first. When she died, her attorney read her will to me. She had left everything to me. She had an extremely large amount of money put away for her retirement and side accounts for various activities for her retirement. I was unaware, but she had made several real estate investments so she could continue living a comfy lifestyle once she retired. She left her 2006 Subaru to me and willed our current house to me as well. She had explained she wanted to use this house for college housing eventually. This was all extremely overwhelming to hear. She left nothing to my parents, but as they didn't know she had assets, they willingly paid for the funeral and any other associated costs. My sister was no contact with our parents and I'm very low contact. We are their only 2 children. At the funeral my parents asked me how I was going to continue going to college without her money, lol, they thought she paid for them. I have student debt. I told them I'd continue to take out loans. They asked about my living arrangements and I shrugged, at the time I didn't know all the details anyway. Well, 2 weeks ago, I found out my parents tried to sell my sister's house whilst I still lived there. They brought a realtor and toured our home and everything. It was all on the cameras set up in the home. When I called them and informed them I'd be calling the police, they explained the situation. I told them it's my home and it was willed to me. They couldn't sell it. They were confused heavily. I told them to meet at my attorney's and set a time. Q today. My attorney explained the will to my parents. My mother went white as a sheet and my father was grumbling about suing me for his rightful money plus the cost of the funeral. My mother began ugly sobbing, telling the attorney he was wrong, her daughter would not leave the house to someone like me. The attorney cut the meeting short and now we're preparing for the inevitable lawsuit coming my way. I just want to sleep and avoid all of this. Just some added info, Mom is a stay-at-home mom but like the kind who spends her life at the country club, not the involved kind. Dad is a businessman and is typically on business trips for weeks at a time. They live, as they call it, lower upper class. Fixed spelling mistakes. Edit, I didn't expect this to blow up tbh, thank you everyone for the support. I've gotten to read almost all the comments and I feel a lot less anxious now. I did talk to my professors and 4/6 of them gave me extensions but the other 2 are being jerks about it. It's fine though. I did sign up for my school's grief group. I just got done changing all my locks too. Thanks to everyone who helped me with home stuff too, I'll be sure to watch the home insurance bill or get a financial advisor or something. My sister's degrees and mine are in the same field so I'll be continuing her business too and I'll need a real estate attorney to redo the leases on her other rentals I guess. I don't know, it's overwhelming. EDIT2, since this keeps coming up, I stupidly gave them a key a few months after she passed. I didn't know they'd even be trying this until after the fact. The will doesn't say anything about them but I'm leaving it up to the attorney to figure everything out. I will be paying them regardless for the cost of funeral, celebration of life, etc. Final update for now, Father sent me a text apologizing, said he wanted to sell the house because of the market right now but won't push me. We'll give more details at some point, gonna see how this plays out first and I'll give an official update at some point. TIFU by not telling my husband that I was pregnant and making him think I was cheating on him, by user exact candy 372. Happens to the best of us, eh? Loudly crying face now that the worst of the panic is over. My husband and I are able to laugh about it but, God, that was awful. My husband and I generally don't have any trust issues. However, his ex-girlfriend cheated on him several times so obviously some scars still carry over towards our marriage. We have a 4F daughter and 1M son, and we recently found out that I was pregnant. I found out first, I was feeling the nausea hard and used a pregnancy test that I still had from the box from the last time I thought I was pregnant and, boom, baby in the oven. I found out on April 2nd and decided to wait until the 25th because that's my husband's birthday and thought it'd be the best birthday gift ever. Pregnancy brain kicked in fast, though, and I carelessly dropped the test in the trash under some toilet paper. I didn't want to touch my pee-covered stick more than necessary, while forgetting my husband is the one who takes out the trash. Come next morning after the trash is taken out, my husband doesn't say anything, so I think he didn't notice it. Come the 15th, we're grocery shopping when suddenly my husband starts crying and goes to the bathroom. I didn't want to drag the kids inside the men's bathroom, so I call him on the phone and he, still crying, asks if it's his baby. This man. I'm not about to have this conversation inside of a fries, so I manage to get him out of the bathroom. We go outside, I tell him my plan and give him a hug and apologize, and he's laughing so hard he can't breathe and then tells me to never do that again before he apologized for running to conclusions. And then we went to get frozen yogurt. Food for the soul. TLDR, didn't tell my husband that I was pregnant, he thinks I'm cheating on him, breaks down in a grocery store, and then we go eat frozen yogurt. TIFU by playing Truth or Dare with my boyfriend, by user Weld Hanks anyway. Last night I had my boyfriend and a few of our mutual friends over to my apartment to drink and play games. Well, after a few hours we were all pretty wasted and playing Truth or Dare. When my boyfriend picked Truth, I couldn't think of a good question, so I asked jokingly which one of my friends he would sleep with. I've always been secure in our relationship, so I wasn't asking because I was suspicious. I was 100% sure he would say none of them or give a joke answer, but no. Without hesitation he pointed to our friend Stephanie and said probably Stephanie, then looked at her boyfriend Jacob and said no disrespect, man, but damn you're lucky you get to hit that, and looked her up and down. The room went silent. Stephanie had a disgusted look on her face. She crossed her arms to cover her chest and looked like she was about to blow up at him. He picked up on the fact that everyone was shocked by his answer, so he said what? Asked and answered. Come on. Let's move on. Stephanie got up out of her seat and went outside to have a smoke. Her boyfriend followed after her. I got up too and he started to look panicked, saying what did I do wrong? You asked me a question and I answered truthfully. You shouldn't have asked if you didn't want to know the answer. I just said you're right. I shouldn't have asked. I went outside and apologized profusely to Stephanie and Jacob for putting them in that position. Stephanie said it's not my fault, but I felt awful. If I had known he would give a real answer, I never would have asked him that. I went back inside and all of my guests were packing their things and leaving. When they were all gone, my boyfriend said he wanted to break up because I'm too dramatic. I was emotionally numb in that moment, so I said oh good. I love when the trash takes itself out. He started crying and saying he didn't mean it. I ordered him an Uber and let him stay inside until the Uber got here. I held it together until he was gone and then finally cried. TLDR asked my boyfriend which one of my friends he would sleep with during a game of Truth or Dare, and he answered truthfully. We broke up. Edit, I understand that I'm the asshole in this situation, hence the TIFU. I'm not saying that what he said absolves me of my mistake. What I am saying is that what he said after answering the question is disgusting and he hurt two of my friends. He kicked himself out of the friend group by leaving the group chats and not talking to us anymore, and I broke up with him because, well, I don't see him the same way anymore. Hope this clears some things up. Edit 2, thanks for the awards. TIFU, I accidentally used a slur for an entire afternoon, by user lilbittybytoffhope. So I'm a volunteer farmer and I was helping to build an irrigation system over a series of garden beds. As I'm working, I see a faucet coming out of the ground, and as I work, I refer to it with the word my grandpa used to call it as I grew up. A certain four-letter slur for Latino people that starts with S. And nobody corrects me. It isn't until the end of the afternoon when I'm talking to the head farmer that I use that term to refer to it, and he pauses. Farmer, what did you just say? Me, and then we just hook it up to the SP, right? Farmer, you mean the spigot? Me, spigot? My grandpa always called it SP. Farmer, well, I think your grandpa might have been a little racist. And then it all clicked. And now I want to bury myself alive. As a bonus, when we were leaving, he was handing volunteers suckers. When he got to me, he looked at the bag and said, oh, you probably don't want the brown one, do you? Yeah, I'm gonna go hide now. TLDR, accidentally called a spigot a slur for Latino people to a group of volunteers. Edit, thank you to everyone that reassured me that this has no racist origin at all. Apparently, my southern gramps just says spigot instead of spigot and shortened it. So no racist grandpa. Also, I censored the word to avoid the post being potentially taken down, but to clarify, replace the 2 stars with IC and you have our word. While saying spigot isn't bad as I know now, I'm not going to shorten it anymore to avoid confusion lol. TIFU by leaving after my GF told me she loved me during sex, by user here for the humane error. Update. Firstly, thank you all for your comments. Very few of you were actually pretty rude, but I suppose that comes with the territory of Reddit. Glad to say I can relay a huge fuck you to those telling me I had no chance. To everyone else, you all made me realize that in person was better and soon is ideal. I went to her ASAP, here's what happened. Despite my long-winded posts, I am not a man of many words. Throughout our entire relationship I tried my hardest to compensate with my actions, that obviously bit me in the ass when my actions did not align with my heart. I had to put my initial demeanor aside and pour my all into her audibly. I did just that. Not sure how detailed I should be. I went to her apartment, she answered not expecting it to be me. I've told her about answering the door and not knowing who it is, but that's neither here nor there right now lol. She was hesitant to let me in, but after pleading, she allowed it. I was overcome with emotion, so much so no words were coming out. Call me what you want, but I got to my knees in front of this woman and told her how I felt. How much she meant to me, how hard it was for me to be so open and vulnerable, and that I hadn't realized this until that night. My girl is very great at facilitating an open environment for communication, so this is by no means a reflection of her but a testament to my upbringing. For context, both my girl and I come from abusive households. That reveals itself to her in her ways, though she handles it with grace and great consideration for others, whereas mine is very avoidant and closed off. Since a child, I never felt like a woman would truly love me based on what was instilled in me by my mother. We've had this conversation before, she's aware of this. I'm currently in therapy, but I didn't expect to react that way once I'm in presence of a woman who does in fact love me. I told her and reiterated that I will go through hell and high water to acknowledge my inner conflicts, not only for myself but for her. I emphasized I will also do this so I can show up for her emotionally and never to leave her in a vulnerable state again. I apologized and teared up and apologized some more. She just listened, crying, but listening. She knelt down to me and unbelievably, this woman said verbatim, I understand. Our actions are never a reflection of others but of the relationship we have with ourselves. She told me how she felt, confused, hurt, and betrayed. Hearing that destroyed me, but she also reassured me that she knew who I was as a man and believed me to be genuine. She also threw in that if that shit happened again, I'd have no access to her and she is her own priority above anyone else. Trust me, I will not be calling her bluff. She is very sure of herself and I'm surprised she even let me in. She kissed me, thanked me for my honesty and told me it was okay to cry. Man, I've always been told as man, I am less than for showing emotion. I never felt so open and comfortable, not even with my longtime friends. Nonetheless, I wanted to be sure I was the one comforting her and not the other way around. I asked her what I can do and well, we finished what we started. I made love to my woman for the first time. In the AM, I got us breakfast. Making sure to leave a note so she wasn't caught off guard if she woke up and saw I wasn't there. I'm going to marry this girl. Do right by her and myself. She's going to be the mother of my children when the time is right, mark my words. Coming from a man who didn't see any of this for myself just a year ago. She really changed me for the better. I also want to note that, though my girlfriend nurtures me in this way, she does not mother me lol. I know there's a rhetoric of women building a man. She's 100% facilitating my growth, but I am a grown man responsible for my actions and will make the effort to be better on my own. I do not want to paint her as a weak for giving me a second chance like some of you have insinuated. Her support was and is something I will be grateful for forever. Also, I did end up showing her this post and we laughed at a few comments. GF here, hi. With work, we are all capable of reaching the healthiest versions of ourselves. This moment is not a mirror of our relationship but a marker to my BF's growth. If I can say anything to help anyone, I urge everyone to reach out to those you love and do better not only for them but for yourselves. We are not to blame for our traumas but we are responsible for how they show up in our actions. Much love, St. On that note, not responding to nasty comments. Some of you are projecting and looking to tear a man down. I got my lady. Thanks everyone. TL.Dr. My GF told me loved me for the first time and I got overwhelmed and left. Updating on getting my lady back. Edit too many comments to respond to. Just want to emphasize my thanks to you all. We both agreed to leave this post up in hopes it will help or motivate someone. There are comments saying this is fake and I'm fishing, whatever. I posted this on 2sun Reddits in hopes of getting as much advice as possible, did not think it would reach this many. My first post barely got any comments and I was desperate last night. People will believe what they want, so there's no need in arguing with that. But I hope all of you get to experience what seems to be a fairy tale or a movie. I guess that is what real love looks like. For anyone wondering, we are both in therapy individually and not planning to cease at any time. Have a good day to you all, even those who are doubtful. Oh well. Also. Original here, also posted in the relationship advice thing. https://www.reddit.com/r/tifu_/comments/idols40/to_under_by_my_leaving_after_source equals share and utm_medium equals ios_app and utm_name equals iosf.